think I'd treat it this way. With all the jobs that I've had and the wonderful people that I worked under, none of them forced their theories on me. They gave me the opportunity to develop my own and teach my way. And I think that's the way I know it's the way I've tried to teach all of my assistants through the years. I want them to teach because it's certainly part of the game, as is playing part of the game and part of their profession. But I want them to develop their own ideas. I don't want them to take verbatim what I have to say. I want them to take what they have to say. But as I stated earlier, what we're trying to accomplish with that student is we're trying to help the student to be able to help himself. You don't want a student who's so totally reliant on you that he's 2,000 miles away and he has to pick up the phone and call you to get the answer to something that he should have with him from the instruction that you've given him. So
beautiful. So I would say what I just heard was you would teach them, or you would instruct your assistant to do the best they can to make their students self-sufficient.
And I would encourage them to develop their own ideas. Charlie Robeson may have ideas that are far better than Butch Harmon's.
Or way worse.
Or,
yeah.
Now, we mentioned certain names. We mentioned Ernest Jones, Claude Harmon, other great teachers, Joe Moresco. Whose philosophy do you believe in? Probably your own. But whose philosophy is best and whose philosophy is right? And how would you rate one teacher versus another, one philosophy versus another? Pretty hard to do. And this is the way I learned to present that to my college team when I was coaching. I was trying to dogmatically make them swing the handle because I thought through swinging the handle we could succeed. But I noticed a resistance coming from the team because most of these youngsters hadn't been taught by me when they came to school. They'd been taught by others. So they had differences of opinion. And I could sense that. And I could also understand we had a roadblock. And if we didn't circumvent that roadblock, we weren't going to get where we were trying to go. And I was watching the Olympic game presentations once in the opening ceremony, where you see over 200 countries parade by. And they're all dressed in their regalia. And they all come from different parts of the world. And they're all there speaking a different language, or if not a different language, at least a different dialect. Well, eureka, that was my answer. Those people were there at the Olympic site to play a common game in their sport, regardless of the language they spoke. And that, to me, best explains swing philosophy. Darrell Kessner has his own swing philosophy. And it may be good for his students. It may be great for his students. But what he conveys to his students, they're going to use as a language with which they express themselves with their swing and with their shots. And that, to me, is the next real learning vista when it comes to the game of golf. Regardless of the language, there's a game out there to be played. And if we want to compete with China and all these other countries that are emerging, we better start doing that with our young players. And we better turn up the heat in the competitive cauldron with these young players in the United States if we want to be competitive.